supposed to ask nasty questions of each other, panelists?
Please.
Okay, Kato-san. I'm getting old. Okay. Henry reminded me of this, and that when I started as a grad student at UNC, his first son was just a baby, and now he's out of college. And you listed many problems that I knew of when I was starting, and are still problems in tracking and HMDs, etc. I mean, what's the prognosis here? Are we really going to get to the vision that people wanted, that dreamed of by the time that I retire or that I die? Or do we need something very different, either a breakthrough or just a very different approach?
I think we don't need that different approach, but we think we have to get much more friends from another research field. Okay, so tracking, we are thinking tracking one of the important research field in augmented reality, but tracking not original in AR. Tracking is the research in computer vision and robotics, basically. So we need much more technology in order to improve the AR system. In this case, we need just simple. Make friends from another research field and get them into the ISMAR community. That's good.
Apparently, Tamura-san has had enough time.
We have 1 more minute. Good turn. You should identify yourself for the 1 or 2 people who may not know you.
I'm Rosa Klinker from Munich. I have a question or comment on Professor Baccarat's videos. They were very inspiring in the way that you, actually just one side remark was inspiring to me, that you said the kids toppled over when they saw some of you zooming in and zooming out, and you also had this treadmill where you had human tracking in order to sort of get them back to the middle of the treadmill, even though from the visuals they probably tended to move off. And I have seen the same with UNC in the VR case, where again you have a mismatch of sensory input. And I think for AR, that's also like what Professor Kato was saying about we want to get away from seeing things that are just on our hands and like a little girl dancing. If we want to get this true illusion of AR being in our surroundings, and we react as a human with all of our body and our senses, our balance, then I don't know how we get that technically, but we have to think of AR in that way again, I think, to see what is the potential, what can we get from it, how will humans react to it, and what will be the final system then. And maybe looking from there, we can also get to some interesting questions that we can already solve now, or at least in the art situation, maybe you can project into these new dimensions for us. That would be really thrilling. So I don't want to fall over, but maybe I want to see other people fall over.
Yeah, I definitely think that is one of the points, that of course we can have more and more technology, but we don't need certain things to have a true acceptable illusion or a convincing experience. I mean, we don't need film with 1,000 frames. It's not necessary. It's not economical, and we just go and sit on where the illusion and the experience is convincing, and that's it. And of course, on the other hand, yeah, I think we should really observe and learn and see what other fields can learn. Is it from theater? Is it from dance? Is it from painting? From architecture? And so on, to understand how humans are interacting with other media. Is it a building around you, or is it a screen in front of you, or is it? There's a lot to understand there. And I think that yeah, of course, the communication between developers and artists is crucial and is our core business. But we don't always need to have the highest tech. We could also maybe look what the possibilities are with the things we have and be clever.
Thank you. It's now been 10 minutes. So,
Okay.
Professor Tamura, for the one or two who may not know, let me make sure that people know who you are. He headed Mixed Reality Lab, which was a joint project by Canon and Japanese
Governments.
governments.
Yes. Currently, most of the people do not the name of Mixed Reality Lab. As Henry says, or that is a non-profit research lab. For 4 years, we spent $50 million for only 4 years. So we developed the video see-through display, as Henry introduced the first day. Okay. From that viewpoint, my private comments. Okay. HMD is essential in this field. Projective type or mobile phone is some different way. I believe that HMD is the ultimate display. Of course, current HMD is uncomfortable with that. I believe if we spend some effort and money for mobile phone, okay? No. What I want to say is, if we use almost the same amount of effort and money spent to mobile phone, we can get easily comfortable HMD. However, who will invest? In Canon, I tried again and again. Okay. Early days of the 90s, many big manufacturers tried. For example, Sharp's Sharp company developed the prototype, various type. Sony do, Olympus do. All good HMD can be obtained only big manufacturer. It's because we need a good liquid crystal, also optical system. So we should persuade the top of such a manufacturer. They cannot find big markets. Audience in this field knows potential field, but still, top executive of such company does not know such a potential field. Now we are good software or some theoretical backgrounds. It's different from 10 years ago. So my opinion is people of this floor do some persuasion to the big company.
Sounds great. Thank you. Those of you who don't know, by the way, the story, the popular story of how we got, laptops, what you see is what you get. The story of the Xerox PARC Alto and others. I think that there is encouragement to be had there, because in a nutshell, from my living through that, the original company executives, Xerox, were not convinced that it was a money-making proposition, and they did not commercialize it. And other people tried in all kinds of other companies that are now in the dustbin of history. And in my view, it was only that when Apple, and particularly Steve Jobs, thought that this was worthwhile, that he was able to do several spins before it became popular. So I don't know how many of you know, for instance, the Lisa. The Lisa was, as far as I know, lost money, and it almost cost Steve Jobs his position. But he was able to do another spin on it for a little toy off on the side called the Macintosh, which turned out to be a lot of success. So I'm encouraged by that history, that there may be something like that that happens in head mounts. Namely that somebody in the right kind of company will do enough work to come out with one that is reasonable chance of success. We only have a few more minutes.
I completely agree.
Yes. There's somebody right next to you?
I really appreciate that comment. Probably Jenny agrees with me that HMD research really needs funding. And in the last couple of years, it's getting harder and harder for us to get purely development funding, and I actually have been shifting my research from development to perception. But I want to tell a little bit of the good news we had. And maybe in the next couple of years, we could expect something come out from that program. Just very recently, we teamed with a company and we did win a Navy STDR phase 2 to develop through HMD, and hopefully will be kind of lightweight. I cannot tell too much about that detail at the moment since it's still going through the review process, but we are hoping to finish the design in 18 months, and the company I teamed up with want to make that in production. And since now we know we got the funding, probably it has some hope. I just want to share that.
Thank you very much. We are just about out of time, so we could have maybe one or two more very quick comments.
Maybe while the microphone gets there. About a question from Ron to Professor Kato about the perfect augmented reality, if it's going to happen in our lifetime. So I would bet $1 million it's going to happen within the next 20 years. So the really perfect AR. If you read the book, The Singularity is Near, I think you can agree.
So,
I can do it with the microphone.
here, why don't you, yes.
And I've got a question basically to Selim. He said, like, if you see the curve, industrial AR at the moment is going down because the industry is not that. I mean, the maintenance and servicing, all that part which was Boeing first work and which was in '92, so it's really old by now, and we still need a real product except you seem to say like Volkswagen or something now. I'm really interested to know whether the reason why we're never going to manage to have industrial AR working is because the quality or the precision that we need to do with vision only, can we reach the precision that industry needs to have real time? Can vision do that, or do we need something else to do that?
In the automotive industry, when you have this building a car, basically, I think every second is 2 million euros or dollars. Like if you stop the this process of building a car during, I don't know, 5 minutes, it's not like the chief of the department is going. It's like the chief of the whole facility is going down because millions are lost during that time. Actually, augmented reality is not like that advanced to where you can say, okay, it will work at any time. So you cannot take the risk to make the process of the building of the car stop. And if you want the tracking and by all this in these industrial scenarios with all the light changes, with all this reflection, it's still not ready yet to have it really bulletproof that you can put it in this environment. So that's why now they are getting a little bit of disillusion, but I'm sure it will go back again. I mean,
Any timeline? Like when will we be bulletproof?
actually, if you look at Gartner's studies, you probably all remarked, and we saw it also in the one event last February, that every year it's like almost the same. AR is like, and the hype and the hype and the hype it will come. But it's really hard to imagine. You need to really get technology going forward and having really this problem that Professor Kato was mentioning, like in this really hard scenario, having the 3D tracking working very good.
I think we may have to ISMAR, one more.
Yes.
And thank you for distinguished panelists here, and thank you all for wonderful panel sessions.